All right.
There we go again, Mike.
Yeah. Thanks for taking all the questions, Dad. I had a question for you regarding kind of like just a retrospective question. And if you could give your 30-year-old self one piece of advice, what would you say?
It's hard to imagine uh, what to say to someone that uh, in that group. It by the time I was 30, I was married. I had a group of kids. I think at the time I had three, and I was in college. I still had 2 more years of college to go via night school, and but I had been able to work in the electronics business, and this was really pre-computers business until 1950, 58. I got my first job with a computer company. And prior to that, I had worked with a company that made electronic instruments, etc. And it was while working with them that I got an opportunity to work with the chief engineer that was building a CAD CAM system, which didn't, such things didn't exist, but he had taken on a job to drill holes in the wings of airplanes under construction. They had to have holes for the screws, and so he had developed a system that let the drill move from coordinate positions of 0, 0 to whatever the location the screw wanted to be. And it could drill a hole, it could then tap the hole, put threads in it, and then it could countersink the head of the screw. And it got me thinking about computers at that time. So then I took this job with Univac, which was an early computer company. And it also, the two men that founded or developed the digital computer were working for that company. And they had been at the University of Pennsylvania in the early 1940s when the U.S. government hired them to develop a digital computer to calculate range and distance for them for guns. Because with a big heavy gun, when you fire it, depending on how the gun is elevated, determines how the distance will be. The higher it's elevated, the shorter the distance the shell will go. And so that all had to be hand calculated during the war, and the government hired women mathematicians to do this because all the men were off the war. And so then they hired Eckert and Mauchly to develop this computer at the University of Penn. And Mauchly was a 35-year-old professor. He was Dr. Mauchly of mathematics, and Eckert was a graduate of the University of Penn in electrical engineering.
Wow. So there's a couple nuggets out of there I would pull from. One is it seemed you knew you wanted to to get into engineering when you left the Navy.
Yeah, but not, I wanted to go in, I was headed towards air conditioning.
Okay.
That's where I started college, but, college, your first few years, whether it's night school or day school, you take general courses. So all engineers take the same courses, math, English, whatever. It's only later that excuse me.
GoPro stop.
Hello?
Good morning, Tom. This is Mike over at
GoPro
Firestone.
stop
Yeah.
recording.
Hi there. Just let you know surgery was successful and your vehicle is all ready for you now.
All right. I'll be over sometime this morning, I think.
Okay. Anytime. We'll be here till 6.
I'm depending